Hello and welcome to the Nerd Cave Remote Technical Support video channel. Today I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do to improve your browser performance in case you're having issues browsing the internet. And this is assuming you don't have a slow internet connection. This is something I run into often when I'm doing computer repair and maintenance. I'm going to open up 3 different browsers. First is going to be Microsoft Edge. And I'm going to open up Chrome, which actually is under G, I think. Yeah, there it is. And then I'm going to open up Firefox. One trick you might want to learn, I notice a lot of people have a tendency to have a lot of browser tabs open. And that does contribute to browser performance, particularly if some of these pages you have opened are constantly doing stuff in the background and consuming memory over time, because web pages do that. They will actually fill up your memory because the browser has to allocate more memory for whatever the web page is doing. And if you leave them open long enough, it'll eventually start to fill up your memory. And things will start running slow because the computer has to keep caching unused memory information to the hard disk until it's needed and then bring it back. And that access to and from the hard disk is what's slowing down your computer. So one thing you can do if you have a lot of browser pages open is you can, this is a trick I do anyway. Usually this is a bookmarks toolbar, and usually it's available on just about every browser. If not, you can go under the view on the menu item, toolbars, and then click bookmarks toolbar, and that turns that on and off. This is how you do it in Firefox. In Chrome, you click this little, looks like a vertical ellipsis. You click that, and you go down to bookmarks, and then show bookmarks bar. And then you can right click this, add a folder, and I just call this temp. And let's open up a number of pages. We'll start with Google and Bing. Oh, and Wikipedia. And a trick I learned to do is, as I'm at each site, I will start with Google web search here. And right here, where this lock is, sometimes it'll be a different icon. You can left click and hold the left button and drag it down and move it into temp. Go over to Bing, do the same thing. Wikipedia, same thing. Then if you click temp, all these websites that you visit often will be in this little folder right here. And I like doing that because after a while I don't use these pages anymore, and I can just right click and either delete this folder or go into it and delete each item individually if I want to. But the reason I do that is so I can close a page that I'm not using right now, and that kind of helps the browser performance by keeping certain web pages closed that you aren't using all the time. Let's do this in Microsoft Edge. Click this horizontal ellipsis, go down to settings, and then right here show the favorites bar. We'll turn that on. I'm done with that, so I'll click the ellipsis again to close the options menu. Create a new folder, call this one temp. Open some pages. Google, Wikipedia, go back to this one. This one was open by default, and I'll go ahead and use it as an example. And again, you grab this icon and bring it over your folder here. Go over to the Google tab, same thing. Wikipedia, thank you. There. Now you click that and you got your temp pages right here, so you can close these tabs. And then if I want to open one, I'll go into a new tab, click temp, click the one I want, and go back to it. And then if I can right click and delete this if I want to, or I can go into it, right click each item and delete it if I want to. Let's go back to Firefox. Show you how to do that here. Again, I showed you how to open or view the bookmarks toolbar in Firefox. I'll right click this and create a new folder, temp, and then we can just start dragging pages into there. Again, you click this icon here, and this right here is called the address bar, and this is where you can type in usually the actual name of the web page or the actual address of the web page in order to get to it. Some people get this confused with the search bar, which is here. In some browsers, usually when you type a specific item like, let's see, pink elephants, Google or Firefox in this case will automatically do a search for it because it's not a web address, so it defaults to a search. If I was to type an address, it'll take me to the address. Anyway, so I'm going to drag these items into the temp folder here. Go to Amazon, drag that in there. There we go. Now I can close the pages I'm not using. And then if I want to go back to a page, if I want to leave the current one open, I just open a new tab and go here, pick the one I want, because it'll always open up in the tab you're currently in. So if I was to do that here, it would switch to, it changed the web page in the current tab to what you just selected. So that's one way you can kind of minimize the resource usage in your browser. The other thing you want to do on occasion, and some people don't like doing this because they don't like clearing their browser history, but this is Firefox, so you click the hamburger button over here and then go down to Options, Privacy and Security, Cookies and Site Data, and Clear Data. And that's, again, that's under Privacy and Security in Firefox. And I don't want to clear cookies or site data, but I do want to clear cached web content. Right now it's 35 megs, and I haven't really done that much with this browser, but it's gotten pretty high. And it stores images and other information that's pretty much displayed on the web page, but I don't want to clear like saved passwords or saved form information. So I uncheck cookies and site data because that way it'll keep that information. But cached web content has a tendency to build up in a lot of browsers, and sometimes it can get so full that it'll take a web browser a certain amount of time in order to search its index for cached images and stuff like that for a web page you're going to, and bring it out of your web cache. Now, ideally, what it's supposed to do is it stores web content in the cache, so that way it speeds up your web page viewing time. So when you go to a web page, instead of going out on the internet and re-downloading the images and whatnot, it'll just grab it from your local cache, which is a good idea, but what happens is the cache gets so big that it starts to defeat the purpose, and it's actually easier to just reload all the content from the website itself rather than try to get it from the cache. So occasionally I will go in here and clear the web content. So making sure that only web content is checked and everything else is unchecked, I can go ahead and clear it. And that'll help improve some performance with your web browser when you do that. So that's with Firefox. Now in Chrome, process is pretty similar. Now, normally this is an ellipsis, but it changed because it has an update, which I'm not going to do now, but anyway, you do click this button over here and make sure you get this menu, and then you go under settings down here. You go over here and click settings on the left hand side, the little hamburger button there, as you saw, and then go down here to privacy and security. You go down here at the bottom and click clear browsing data. I don't want to clear browsing history. I don't want to clear cookies and site data. I just want to clear the cached images and files. And this is up to 268 megs. So I'll go ahead and clear that data. Now my browsing cache is cleared. So usually that'll help improve performance. Some web pages, if they have a tendency to load slow to begin with, then sometimes the cache will actually help speed up that process. But like I said, over time, as the cache gets larger, it tends to actually slow the browser down, so I like to clear the cache every once in a while. Okay, so that's it for Google Chrome. In Edge, we go over here to the ellipsis, go down to Settings, Clear Browsing Data. Choose what to clear. No browsing history, cookies and site data I want to keep. Tabs I've set aside or recently closed. That's kind of your preference, but in this video I'm just going for cache data files. There's also form data and passwords and other items you can delete, but like I said, in this video I'm just going for cache data and files. Okay, so my cache data is cleared, and that's it for Edge. Doing those things should help improve your browser performance and keep some memory freed up so you can actually use other applications. Generally, the browser is the thing that consumes the most memory on your computer and uses the most resources. So if you've got a lot going on with your browser, then you'll notice a performance drop in your other applications like your spreadsheet or your word processor or any other program that you're using. That's it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if it helped you out. Click subscribe if you want to see more. Also, make sure you check out the website, www.the-nerdcave.com, and tell your friends about me. I'd love to hear from them. Thanks for watching and have a great day.